right, then we will get started. Thank you everyone for coming this afternoon to the special meeting of the Northampton License Commission on today, January 7th. Calling this meeting to order. Present this afternoon, myself, Natasha Yakovlev, and Commissioners Jennifer Ewer and Amy Cahalane. And this meeting is being Zoom recorded. Do we have anybody here for general public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the first agenda item, which are the applications for short-term liquor licenses for Arts Night Out. Downtown Northampton Association. The event is Arts Night Out for the following dates and times: January 9th, 2026, February 13th, March 13th, April 10th, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, August 14th, September 11th, October 9th, November 13th, December 11th, all from 5 to 8 p.m. at the following locations: Oneo Mania LLC, DBA Cedar Chest, and Stay Golden, Assemble LLC, DBA Assemble, Made and Curated, Lulu Bell Incorporated, DBA Pinch, Click Workspace Incorporated, Icor LLC, DBA Familiars Coffee and Tea, Thorns Marketplace LLC, Hope and Feathers Framing, Joe Smith Studio Gallery, Northampton Center for the Arts, DBA Northampton Center for the Arts, and this is a wine and malt license being sought. And we have someone here from Downtown Northampton Association.
Hi, I'm Amanda Shaffey. I'm the board president for the DNA.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming. I have a quick question. It might be more for Annie. Annie, I know that there was an addition to this list. Have all of these locations had their short-term liquor license inspections with the fire department?
You're muted.
Sorry. I'm not sure. I will have to check with Kevin. He's not here yet, but I can check with him after.
Okay. Sorry about that, Amanda. Do you have anything you want to share with us about Arts Night Out for the coming year?
Yeah, we're very excited. It's going to be second Fridays of every month. We're trying to bring the crowds down to Northampton and just have some fun things going on. We have started to generate some interest already. We've had some news reporters reaching out to us. So it's very exciting. We're hoping to get even more people on board.
That's great. We're very happy to see it come back with more regularity these days.
Yes.
Any of the commissioners have questions or comments?
Nope.
No questions.
Okay. Then I think we are ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the applications for short-term liquor licenses for Arts Night Out as outlined in agenda item 3.
Second.
Subject to okay with their short-term liquor license inspection by the fire department.
Natasha?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. And Amy?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
All right. We don't have Kevin yet. Okay, here, next agenda item, we have a hearing on noise and safety complaints at 24 Main Street and consideration of potential modification of the entertainment license held by Pedigo Wood LLC DBA Hayes. And I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second. Natasha?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. And Amy?
Yes.
Okay, great. So first we are going to hear from complainants, and I know we have at least one person here. And if you could unmute.
I am unmuted.
Hello. If you could just state your name for the record, please.
My name is Eric Bennett, and I live at 26 Main Street.
Thank you. So we're ready to hear your concerns.
And I think my neighbor, Maria, is here also.
Oh, wonderful. We would like to recognize her as well.
So I sent Annie a letter because I didn't want to go on and then just forget things or freeze up because I'm nervous because I'm on Zoom.
Okay.
Annie, did you read the letter?
Yes, I did. Did the other commissioners have a chance to read the letter before the meeting?
Yes, I read it as well.
Excellent.
Okay, so then I don't need to read it, right?
You don't need to read it. You're welcome to read it if you want to, but you certainly don't need to.
Well, the crux of the letter is that I've been living here for a long time. I moved in 2009. I'm originally from New York, and I always lived in apartments growing up, even after I moved out of my parents' house, after college, always in apartments. So I kind of know what it's like to live where you have to coexist and you're in this community where people are on all the walls, people are above you, people are below you. I know what it's like to live in a noisy apartment. One good thing about this apartment, and I wrote it in the letter, for some reason it's built, I'm over an Indian restaurant, and I thought when I first moved in, oh, am I going to smell Indian food all day long? And the building, I think it was a warehouse because we have really tall ceilings, very thick walls. I never hear anything. It's like living in a house in the middle of the woods, without the crickets. I don't hear any of my neighbors. Whereas in New York, if somebody coughed, I would hear them. So it's not like the walls are thin, and we're on the third floor. My neighbor Maria, she's below me. She's a little closer to Hayes. The thing is that my issue is kind of with the city and the licensing board, that what was originally a cafe and then a bar morphed into a nightclub, but it morphed into a nightclub without taking into consideration that it's in a residential block and that there are people living on either side and above it. And as quiet as my building is, and as thick as the walls are, it doesn't mitigate uh, a DJ or a rock band. We're on the third floor and I'm in the back. And Anya has lowered things a bit. She has actually paid attention to, and if I text her, she'll get back to me. The thing is, there's nothing that really she can do to have a viable club and a rock performance space and be and have neighbors that are next to her upstairs from her, unless they put in soundproofing like they have at the Iron Horse or the Parlor Room. There's no noise mitigation, so everything just comes up through the walls, and I have a club in my apartment basically, and I don't see how the city can allow something that was a cafe and then a bar and a craft bar to turn into a nightclub without doing your due diligence and saying, you know what, there are people that live upstairs from you and next to you. These are apartments. These are not residential apartment. Across the street from me on Main Street, those are commercial offices, but these are residential apartments. And my kids had to leave. They can't be here on weekends anymore. Um, and it happened with the Majestic and my downstairs neighbors. They were nice guys. They moved out because they said you can't fight City Hall, and if they're going to let this happen, we're going to find someplace else to live, because it would go on till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay, I'd like to say a couple things just so we can have the most constructive
Yeah.
conversation that we can. So, were you at the public hearing back in February when we approved the entertainment license?
No.
Okay, so we had a very big discussion at that meeting, reviewing everything that you've just said doesn't happen. So this space, it's commercial, and they are allowed to have, if we issue an entertainment license, if we issue a liquor license, then that business is allowed to have those activities happening. We had a huge discussion at the February 6th meeting with Anya regarding the history of this location. So please know that we have done exactly what you're saying the city doesn't do.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, so we've been through that process. So the purpose of today's hearing is to revisit that conversation with Anya, which she was made aware at that time. If there were complaints, we were going to end up having this conversation at some point. So that's where we are. That's just my piece, but please continue.
Okay, so I did talk to when I became aware of Hayes, and I don't attend these meetings regularly because there's no reason for me to. So I wasn't aware of it. And so, or else I would have put my 2 cents in at the time. When I saw that Hayes was saying coming soon, Hayes, performance-based nightclub. I did talk to Anya, and it was a nice talk, and I just said, be aware that we had problems with the Majestic. It was really loud. My thing, what I would ask from you is that I had the same understanding with Phil Peak, who was the owner of Majestic, is that if it's too loud, can I text you and will you respond? Turn down the bass, turn down the subwoofer. You know, if it's the walls are vibrating, there's no earplugs I could put in my ears to keep the room from vibrating. So let's try and keep that to a level. And we go to sleep now with earplugs and white noise machines. That's how we go to sleep. I also asked her if she could make sure that the windows and doors are closed so the sound doesn't come out onto Main Street, bounce off the walls and up into my kids' rooms. She said, okay. And that was the understanding. And her problem is that she has different DJs. She has different bands. They come in with their own equipment. It's not house equipment for the most part, I guess. And she can't always stay on point with different people every night or 2 or 3 times a week to say, I have people, you know, I'm not the primary concern of her running her business, and neither is my neighbor. So, and neither are the other people. So we have to text her and tell her if it's too loud. And she usually responds, and it usually goes down enough that it's manageable. Sometimes it's not. She had a band there last night. It wasn't that loud. I earplugged it and put white noise machines on, and we managed the best we can. I don't want to close her down. I just don't understand. I went to ask Gabe, and I've known Gabe for 17 years. He's the landlord. And I said, what about, you know, you've rented it out to 2 nightclubs in a row. Have you? What about putting some soundproofing in, you know, on the ceiling so it doesn't get into the apartments upstairs? And he basically told me to take a hike. You know, he's like, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen is pretty much what he said. It's like, don't live downtown if you don't like the noise. It's like, I've lived downtown my whole life. I could deal with the noise. I can't deal with my apartment vibrating. So, and he basically just told me to leave. So that wasn't very nice because I've known him for a long time. But and Anya said, oh, he finds that it would be he has a tin ceiling. He has an antique tin ceiling, which you can get at the Home Depot for, you know, $20 a square yard. And he doesn't want to attach the soundproofing to the tin ceiling, and that's that's BS. He just doesn't want to do it because it costs him money. The thing is, I live here, and there has to be some kind of social contract between the business downstairs and the tenants. And I've been here 17 years, and I haven't really gone before the council or anybody and complained about anything or noise downtown or things coming from across the street or bars staying open. You know, I didn't complain. But, you know, when the building's vibrating, I'm complaining. And the option is either they get soundproofing to mitigate this, or I'm probably going to move out because I can't, you know, I pay a lot of money to live here and I love my apartment, but my kids have moved out, pretty much. And there's no reason for me to stay here. Not like this. It's not how I want to live. So, oh, you know what? I'm going to let Maria talk. Talk to me.
Okay, thank you. And one quick question, is Gabe your landlord as well?
No, my landlord is Mr. Singh, who owns India Palace.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And when we complained with the Majestic when I went with Jim Neal, that Singh came to the city council meeting that time too. And he wanted to be here for this, but I said, I'll be all right.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. And could you just state your name for the record, please?
Hi,
Maria?
everybody. My name is Maria Grove. I'm also a resident of 26 Main Street. I live on the first floor, so I get all the rock band and all the fun stuff. I think, Eric and I have chatted a bit. I've been a resident. This is my third year living there now, I believe. I'm from Miami, so I know a little bit about the music too. I think my complaints are a little bit different than Eric's are. Mine are more about safety. And I have been in contact with Anya about this. I was out of town for like the last 3 weeks. And I actually sent her a very strongly worded text message before my husband and I left. It's just, obviously we can hear absolutely everything, and, it causes problems. My brother was here with my nephew, who's like he's what, like 15 months old, and the baby couldn't sleep because it was so loud and you hear it. And, it was a problem for my brother who was here for a week, and he's making all this effort to come. So I felt terrible. But we hear everything, and in our bedroom and everything. And we heard it with Majestic as well. I think it was kind of like we didn't really know what to say. We're new to the area. We haven't lived this is our fourth year living in the town. But so we hear everything. So before we left for vacation, there was a couple of things that were very concerning that happened, and I'll explain both, like two situations. And the second one, I did tell Anya that I was going to call 911 if it happened again. So the I'll go with the first concern that is a little bit weird. I'm a very light sleeper. I just do my best to sleep, but there's been multiple times that we have heard, my husband and I, and he's working, so I couldn't jump on, but um it sounds like there's always a male voice that comes around, and either there's something that happens in Hayes that they get upset at each other, and they end up getting upset at this person, and he always leaves. And I can hear the door slamming in the back. I can hear the door opening in the back. And it's whatever, the walls are thin. But every time he gets upset, all I hear is him cussing and him being very upset. But what concerns me is that he's said maybe twice or three times, I'm going to come back and I'm going to shoot this place. Um, and that was very concerning. And I was very scared. And I woke up my husband, and he looked at me and he's like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "You know what? Maybe he's just really drunk. Like, whatever, it is a nightclub. Things are happening." And then it happened again. I was like, "Oh my God, like, is this what we're really in for living here?" Like, I'm scared. Like, if something happens like this, we're literally the first floor. I did not reach out to Anya for that one because I was like, you know what? Like, I also want to support her business and I want her to succeed. And maybe, she has this under control. Um, but right before we left, we had an early flight. And it was I left a Wednesday, and it was a Tuesday night. And I called her because we could hear a woman screaming in Hayes saying, "Let me go. Stop touching me. Please let me go. Please let me go." And it sounded like this woman was screaming at the top of her lungs. And I don't know if it was a female identifying person. It sounded like a female voice, and I just felt like a very bad bystander. And I was like, I don't know if my husband and I were both up. We didn't want to go downstairs. I was like, do we call 911? Like, what do we do? And it probably went to like one, two, like the screaming lasted for about 30 minutes. And then eventually you hear the woman leave, close the door, and she's screaming and crying. And when we left early for our flight. We see two women in the car just crying, crying, crying. And I was just like, I felt guilty because I was like, I don't know if I should call 911. So, in my mind, I texted Anya and I was like, hey, look, like if this happened last night, like I haven't really been too vocal to you. Eric's been more vocal. I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. But I was like, if this happens, I'm calling 911 because I'm not gonna let this happen under, like, I would hate to hear, hey, the news, something happened and I heard that. And she said, "Can you call me?" And we talked on the phone, and I let her know my concerns. And her feedback was more around the fact that her club isn't open that late, so she didn't think that there was anybody there. But I said, hey, look, like, we're not making this up. Like, you have two people here that are hearing the same thing. Like, my husband can attest to it too. We were both very concerned. So I think, yeah, like, to sum it up, like, yes, the noise is very loud. We hear it. I hear it all the time. And like Eric says, like, we've just gotten a little bit used to it. I don't know what the policy. I was here when Majestic was here for a very short time. But it wasn't as loud, I would say. It didn't feel as loud for me. I would hear it on the drag show nights on Tuesdays, but other than that, felt more manageable. But this one, it's every day, and or whatever the days of they're operating. And I'm like, holy heck, like people are partying on a Wednesday night. Like this is kind of crazy. Like there's live music every freaking day. Like I wish it could be more regulated and we'd know like, okay, like these are the days that there's going to be music playing instead of every single day having to have it. And then on the weekends, like my husband and I kind of know, like buckle up for like what the heck we're going to hear tonight. Whether it's somebody screaming or there's fights in the back, or you effing this or you effing that. And it's just uncomfortable, truly. And like Eric said, like the residential area, like I would not have a kid. And I don't have any children, but I would not have a kid living there. And that's something that we're thinking about for the future. And, you know, if that were to happen, I too would probably leave, because I don't think that having a child in there is safe, especially if somebody's saying they're going to come back and shoot up the place. But yeah, those are my concerns. I hope that, you know, there's a way that Anya can have feel more supported from their landlord, and you know we can resolve a couple things and more safety measures can put in place, because I do want to support the town of Northampton, and you know having things move forward. I know it attracts different sorts of nightlife, whatnot, but yeah, that's all I got to say.
Thank you. I have a quick question. So when you talked about the man saying he was going to shoot up the place, and you heard him go out the back door, was he going out the back door of the establishment, or is it how your apartment is situated? The front door of Hayes is what you would refer to as the back.
No, my door, sorry, that's a great question. So we have two entrances. My front door is the front door of Hayes. My back door is the back door of Hayes. Like my back door is like where my bedroom is, and I have a window that is like right towards like the back door, and like or the back area, and that is like the little alleyway that's in between there. So
And so that's where you heard that.
He was like heading towards like the garbage, I would say like the garbage area.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Amy and Jennifer, do you have some questions?
I'm curious actually if Kevin is here and wanted to talk as well or not.
He's not here
I
yet.
don't see him. Let me give him a call because he said he was gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to, because there was that other piece I wanted to bring up, and I'd prefer to do it when Kevin's here, but while Annie's making that so Kevin is the at the building department for the city, and he's a helpful resource. And so while we're waiting for him, hopefully to arrive, these are always the hardest things that we have to do on the License Commission, because there has to be a balance between people living in town and people conducting business in town. And this is largely a commercial district with some residential areas. It's zoned for both things. And our goal is, you know, I don't know that we've ever made everybody happy in the decisions that we've made, but our goal is that everybody feels like that something is moving forward in a positive way. And that's just hopefully the outcome of all of this. But Annie, did you get him?
I did not. There's a business downtown that is having a little gas emergency that he had to go to. But I'm just sending him a quick message to see if he can hop on when he's done.
Okay. Then I'll continue with one of the concerns that Kevin was aware of, that we would have talked to him about as well. And I didn't make note of the date of this, but we did receive an anonymous, or a request to make an anonymous complaint about safety concerns at the establishment. And this was back in December, I believe. And the patron provided us with some photographs and video of a 7-piece band playing with gear on the floor, cables. They were blocking the rear emergency exit, blocking access to the bathroom, and it just was an unsafe environment. So that is something I wanted to go on the record as part of this hearing, is making known that we did also receive that information. And did the other commissioners want to add to that, since we did talk about it at that last meeting, I think it was?
I don't.
Today also pertain about the safety. So I think I do want to hear from Kevin, or if someone from the fire department was here, but my concerns really are around those safety complaints.
Yep.
And then procedurally, after Kevin speaks, would Anya then also be speaking, I would assume?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And if we don't have Kevin, we can move on to hear from Anya and bounce back to Kevin when he arrives. Hopefully he arrives. Okay, so in the interest of time, do the commissioners have any other questions for Maria or Eric?
I do not.
Yeah,
Okay.
no questions. Thank you.
Maria and Eric, thank you for being here and sharing your concerns. Next, we will hear from the license holder. And if you could just state your name for the record.
Anya Wood.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
So, I haven't seen you since we approved your license back in February, and we had a big conversation about our concerns with the history of sound in that establishment, what previous businesses had done to address the sound, and it seems like things are a little bit maybe off the rails at the moment. And we'd like to hear how I have a lot of questions for you, but if you would like to respond to what you've heard so far today, you're welcome to do that.
I'm trying to see which one I should start with. So in terms of sound mitigation, we are still working on doing more sound paneling.
Have you done any yet?
Yes, we have. There's curtains in the back. And yeah, I talked to my landlord about doing more with the ceiling. And originally we had this plan to put baffling across the entire ceiling, but that was kind of, a lot. We'd have to screw in a lot of things, and the ceiling has been there for a long time. It's a historic building. So he asked us not to, mess with the ceiling. But when we talked after the last meeting, I did let him know about that portion of it. And he said that if I wanted to, I could put sound paneling like in the corner, kind of where the band would be. So working with Ronan on doing something like that to put more sound paneling in the space to try to help with dampening the sound.
Who is Ronan? Sorry to interrupt.
Ronan is a sound company. They do a lot of they fix sound gear, and they hire out people who do sound for bands, and also do sound mitigation as well. And we do have a sound person who is monitoring the decibel levels. We actually just got a new sound person because the old one wasn't really, I didn't think that they were doing a great job of keeping the bands in check. And yeah, it's hard for me. I try really hard to be understanding of the people who live above me. And I make it very clear to whoever comes into the space that we do have neighbors upstairs. We have stopped using the subwoofer completely because of it. We have a sound decibel reader to try to keep it in a safe and reasonable sound limit as well. And we have lots of different people with the live bands. It is a little bit more difficult to to dial in the sound because they bring their own equipment. That's, we have some house equipment, we have speakers and a soundboard, but most of the time the bands come in with their amplifiers and things like that. And whenever they come in, we tell them you got to keep it low, especially with the bass players. And it's a band, it's live people, they don't know the space all the time, and so it's a little bit of trial and error trying to like dial that in. Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely doing things to try to work on the space and make it work for everybody, because, you know, I'm not trying to make it unlivable for the people who live above me. We took over Majestic because it was a bar previously. And, you know, when we talked to the landlord, uh, and Phil, who had previously owned Majestic, they let me know that there was, you know, oh, you know, there are people upstairs and they've complained about the sound sometimes, but you just have to get a decibel reader and do some sound paneling and you should be fine. You know, I don't know how extensive the conversation was with Phil, but when I talked to my landlord too, he let me know that the people who live above me, it's in their lease that there is a bar that's downstairs, and part of that. So, you know, when we took over the space, it it was already a somewhat loud place before. So, you know, I am new at this. I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate a lot of these things. Um, and yeah, I'm definitely hearing that people are, you know, trying to live their lives. And I'm doing everything that I can. It's a lot of work. It's just me basically running the place. So I'm trying to do things as fast as I can. But all of this stuff takes time and a lot of money. So, you know, there's that aspect of it too. In terms of the safety issues, we did have an employee that had a not so savory partner. Um, and I didn't even realize that this was happening. Some of my staff, I didn't know that this was even an issue. Some of my staff have keys, because you know, I can't be there all the time. They come in and they open the bar, and sometimes they close the bar. I work like 12 hours a day, so sometimes I go home early. Um, and I thought that my staff was trustworthy enough to be able to have keys to the bar. And until I heard from Maria, I didn't realize that there was anything happening without my notice. We do have cameras. So after hearing that, I looked at the cameras and saw that they were there past hours, and that person no longer works for us because of this issue. So, yeah, it's a really unfortunate situation, but it's not somebody who worked there, who was the man who was being problematic doesn't work for Hayes. It was a partner of one of my bartenders, and she no longer works there. And it's a tough situation on her end. So that
Both of
was,
those issues were related. The man who could be heard slamming out the back door, saying he'd come back and shoot the place up. That's the same as the
yeah, I
related
think so. Yeah,
the
I would
yeah.
assume so. We have friends, I have some friends who live in some of the other apartments next door. And when that incident happened, I also heard from some other people that they heard that as well. And after looking at the cameras and kind of hearing more about the situation, it it was, yeah, it was one of my employees. Her boyfriend came to the back door when she was working and they had a fight. So, you know, I am trying to make it a safe space there. That's one of our biggest goals. So, you know, that's kind of a no, you can't really come back from that. You can't be there past hours. That's unacceptable behavior. So, unfortunately, yeah, she's no longer working for us. Um, yes, I don't know. There was probably more things.
Sure. Well, we're having a conversation, so as more things come up, we can talk about it. But I have some questions. When we gave you the license back in February last year, Jonathan Padigo was with you, and as like consultant slash creative manager. Is he no longer involved?
He's a silent partner. He's no longer involved in any of the operations.
So he's not providing any support with what we expected him to be providing support with.
No,
Okay.
unfortunately, no.
And how many people do you have working for you?
Right now there are 6 people. We have 2 dedicated people for security, 3 bartenders, 2 dedicated people, 3 bartenders,
Security?
2 security, 3 bartenders, and we have a person doing sound.
Okay. And the person doing sound is there all the time when you have live entertainment or DJ?
Whenever we have live music, we have a little bit of different staffing that's been coming through. We've been changing over some hands. But we always have a person who is dedicated to doing sound while we have bands.
Okay. And you have 2 security. Are they both working at the same time, or it's one person there?
No, just one. It's too small of a space to require 2.
And they'd be at the door?
Yes.
Okay. And I have a lot of questions. So the small space piece. So the photos that we received from the patron who was concerned with the 7-piece band and the gear on the floor and the cables and lit cables on the bar and all this sort of stuff. I'm familiar with the space and it is quite small. When you've got a 7-piece band, what are there, do you still have the tables set up?
No, so we don't have any tables in the back half section. There's a small bar, it's just like a small runner across the wall to set a drink on. But other than that, it's an open space. It's been, it's a lot of coordinating for bands, and I'm not always the person who books the bands. I do have somebody else in my staff who does band bookings. And Tuesday night we have Dead cover bands, and they tend to be a larger set of people in a band. And I try to make sure that we have enough clearance for the bathroom, and I do let the band know. That 7-piece band, it doesn't happen that's like one of the only times that we've had such a large band there. Normally we have like 5 people at max, and we have rugs on the floor to kind of outline the space in which we would like them to play in. Spillover does happen a little bit, but we try to like keep them in a place where there is enough clearance to get to that back door, or to the back bathroom and to the back door if needed.
And are you open 7 nights a week? Your license was for 7 nights a week, but is that?
Yeah, we're not. We're closed on Mondays and Thursdays right now.
So all of the other nights, do you have live performances?
We have live music on Tuesdays. There's karaoke on Wednesday, which it's not, I wouldn't say it's super loud. And then Thursdays we're not really doing much, and we're closed for the winter. And then Fridays and Saturdays we have DJs. And Sunday has been live music. But we are doing a little bit of changing of our scheduling, so we're going to switch to doing open mics on Sundays, so that, with quieter sets from people, softer music on a Sunday. And then Thursdays would be what Sundays used to be with live music.
Okay. So when Bishop's Lounge closed, did you have an influx of bands approaching you to play?
Yeah, we have a lot of bands.
Prior to that, did you have was a five-piece band your largest, or did you not even have five-piece bands prior to that happening?
Prior to
Prior to when
Bishops,
Bishops closed.
we actually opened after Bishops.
You opened
So
after Bishops closed?
yes, yeah.
Right. So you've taken on a lot of their portfolio of bands because
Mhm.
because Bishops isn't open. So okay, so I see what you're saying. So okay. All right, never mind. Um, and your current hours reflect the license. You didn't shorten them on either end.
We have been closing at 1 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays during the winter months. We've been trying to do earlier band sets as well and closing earlier in the winter, um, trying to reflect a little bit of the, when people are in town. Yeah.
And what time do the bands start? Does it change based on the who's performing, or do you have a set time?
So we normally open at 7, and our bands start between 8 and 9. Um, on Fridays and Saturdays, we've been starting DJs at 10. But we're starting to do live music on Saturdays, so hopefully that will start on the earlier side, around 8:30 or so.
Jennifer and Amy, questions at this time?
And my computer.
Uh-oh.
I think we just lost her. It sounds like her computer was going to die, maybe.
Oh, great. Are you able to text her? Do you have her number?
I don't have her number. I can email her.
That would be great because I would love to hear from Kevin. I don't want to keep him, but I also don't want to continue the conversation without her here.
Okay, I've sent her a message.
Hey, Annie. I just sent you a text.
Yes, I see that. I'm actually looking in OpenGov. Okay, let me see if I can reach her on hers.
Yeah, somebody just came in.
Yeah, that might be her.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Okay, great. You're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so based on what we've just discussed, Amy and Jennifer, do you have any questions or comments?
I think maybe I can answer this myself, but I was, while you were talking, trying to figure out are there more complaints during live music nights versus DJ nights? Like, does one of them generate more bass or more vibration, or does it make a difference? If you know.
Was
That
that
was a question to
for
Anya.
me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No. My mistake.
It's hard to say. I think that the DJs, we tried to switch to live music because, um, just the nature of having loud speakers, seems like that sound travels a lot more, because of just like the bass aspect of it. And because we no longer use our subwoofer, it we have to turn the speakers up slightly to kind of make the sound quality in the same way. Because the way that speakers are, like they are now ex like they're giving out like high frequency, low frequency, and mid frequencies, whereas like if we have the subwoofer, it cuts out a lot of the low frequencies, so the speakers can be lower and you feel it more in your chest. So I think that live music is a little bit um, it's hard to say. I think that it's both aspects of things. There's pros and cons to both. But we're also trying to switch to more live music because there's a lot of people who have been wanting more live music in Northampton. And it's been more popular than some of our club nights have been as well.
Thanks.
Anya, I have one question going back to the sound mitigation work. You mentioned wanting to do some, was it called baffling? Something around the ceiling, and that your landlord didn't want you to install that many panels. And then you also mentioned Ronan, that you were working with a new sound mitigation company, who's sort of a new sound person.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just clarify? I'm trying to understand, are you not allowed to mitigate the sound because the landlord said that you could not install anything on the ceiling, or are you still, is the relationship with Ronan new?
The relationship with Ronan is newer. We had a plan upon opening the bar to do baffling, which are these very long panels that run entirely across the top of the ceiling. But we ended up not having the budget for it, for one, but also to install it, it would be a lot of holes in the ceiling, and they are beautiful ceilings. They're like original tin ceilings from whenever the building was built. It's not like something that was installed later. And one of the requests from the landlord was to preserve the ceiling as much as possible. It's a big selling point for him, I'm sure. So I understand why he doesn't want that to be harmed. But upon talking to him more, I uh, asked him about that again, and I explained that a lot of the sound travels through the ceiling. And he's like, if you can find another way to do it, maybe glue or tape or something in places where the sound is traveling the most. So like right above where the band would be, and also the speakers and stuff. So we have panels that we are working on getting up, and making them look nice so we can put them in the space. And also just like the squishy foam as well, just to kind of pad the ceiling out a little bit more.
What is your timeline for that?
I have been talking to Ronan. They are going to come in the next couple of weeks and look at how the sound travels in the space, and seeing where like they can put extra sound dampening to help with the noise quality. So that should be happening in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll be installing panels this month.
I have two questions. Can you just go over again the closing hours for each day of the week is my first question. I got lost in what was happening winter or now versus later.
Yeah. Okay, so Monday through Wednesday, I don't remember exactly what time I put for the opening date, but I know that we close at 12. And then Thursday through Saturday is until 2 a.m. And then Sunday is also 12.
And then you said for the winter months that you were closing at 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
And winter months meaning like when are you going to switch over to another schedule? Do you know? Do you have a
I think once, the weather gets a little bit warmer and we have more foot traffic and just more people in town, it's a little bit slow right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I would like to jump over to Kevin and bring him in on the conversation now that we have him. Hi, Kevin. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. You have a busy day.
Yeah. So in regards to the foam that you had just mentioned, Anya, so it has to have a fire rating to it. It just can't be any foam. That would also require a permit from us. It needs to have a fire class rating of A, B, or C on it. So just don't go purchasing anything until you check with me to make sure it's something that can be approved.
Okay. There was foam that was left from Majestic that we were planning on using. Do you know if there was anything from them?
I can look if there's any labels on it, like what type of, I'm gonna guess if it's foam, it's not approved.
Okay.
Just because of the station nightclub and then just what happened overseas with that fire, 'cause that was foam, and with any flames, the foam spreads. It doesn't have a rating on it. So,
Okay.
but if you can see what the manufacturer is and get information on it, we can look at it. And if it does meet the rating, then you be able to use that. But if it doesn't have a fire rating, then you won't be able to use that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you have anything else or are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready for questions.
Okay, great. So we approved the license back in February, pending all the things.
Yep.
There was a liquor license inspection with the fire department conducted in July.
Yep, that was our initial visit.
Yep.
Just to give her to go there and see what she had to get done.
Okay, was there a follow-up visit to that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
so the issues that were flagged as not passing were corrected.
Correct.
Okay.
So with the in regards to the curtain, we just let her know that it had to be a rated curtain, and then if it was closed at any time, that another exit sign would have to be installed above that door to let patrons know that there is another means of egress behind that curtain.
Okay.
So if that curtain was closed, and then from the pictures that we received, the curtain was closed with no additional exit sign.
Yeah. And you'd had that conversation prior to we received those pictures.
Correct. We had that with her, I believe, on that initial visit, and then with the follow-up inspection before they opened up.
Okay. Anya, is your staff, so when you're not there, is your staff aware of these things that they can't close that curtain door?
Yeah, I try to make them aware. I think that one got swept under the rug a little bit. Normally the curtain is lowered. It is a fire rated curtain. And we don't normally have it closed. It's open most of the time. But sometimes the bands close it and stuff happens. But we can get an exit sign installed if that would be easier.
You have to. Yeah. I mean, that's been, I think this is now the third time you've been told that. It would have been the inspection and then Kevin told you and now we're telling you again. It's really, really important. And I've heard a couple times you're the boss of this establishment. So you're the one who needs to make sure that the staff is aware of this. It's not like a maybe, or they might not know, or they might not understand. They're serving liquor. They have to understand everything that applies to that, all the safety and everything else. And they have to understand the fire safety. They have to understand and respect the decibel stuff. And we've heard from, in a past, not at this establishment or this location, a different location where we were having sound issues, we heard from the establishment that, well, these are musicians, we can't control them. It's your job to control them. That if you are the host, if you're having musicians play in your establishment, sometimes some bands are going to have a louder experience than other bands. It's your job to mitigate that. And to, if it's too loud for the space, it's too loud for the space. Sorry, we're happy to have you here, but we can't have you back. Like those are the types of decisions that you're going to need to be making in running this business.
We definitely do make those decisions. We don't hire a lot of bands because of the type of music that they play. And I do a lot of being the gnat in people's ears about all this stuff. It's honestly, I'm the bad guy a lot of the time because musicians don't love to listen to people telling them to be quiet. And it's definitely been a tough position for me, but it's, I have definitely been doing that.
And the musicians, it's still your responsibility. It's not theirs. They can push and push, but it's still on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these bands that you're getting did play Bishop's Lounge, which was a completely different space. There was absolutely no residential apartments in that building. It was all commercial. Mm-hmm. And it had been a space where bands have been playing for decades, actually. So they're disrespecting your space if they're not able to accommodate what you're asking them to do. Mm-hmm. And they're used to playing in a certain area, so they need to be brought to the limits of what you are able to provide in that space if those bands are going to play.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. Did anybody have anything else for Kevin while we have him? I don't want to keep him. He's welcome to stay, but I don't want to keep him if he has things to do.
I don't. Thanks.
Okay. And do the commissioners have any other follow-up questions for Anya or clarifications needed before we close the hearing for our discussion?
I don't have any other questions.
I guess apologies that you've said this before, but if you could, Anya, just clarify one more time. At the moment, you're still working, yes, with the sound company to try and explore other sound mitigation efforts in the area where the band plays. Is that
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. That's all I had.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I should have explained this before I closed it, but at this point in time, the commissioners are going to have a discussion and see if there are any changes that will be made to the license. Okay, so commissioners.
I'm struggling with the limited road and limited options within which we can actually do something. I mean, we are essentially limited to limiting hours, limiting days, maybe limiting types of entertainment, band versus DJs.
Well, let's first talk about what we are identifying as issues, as problems, and then move to if there are solutions that are within our purview. So this space historically has been problematic for sound. You weren't around, Amy, when Majestic was open, I think, but Jennifer, you were. So there was a lot of work done. There was some mitigation that was done, and then it seemed to work itself out to the degree where it wasn't an issue that we were hearing about anymore. So there was what is the difference? There's probably a difference in the types of music that's being played and the frequency that is happening. The other issue, in addition to that, to the sound that has resumed, and sounds like it's actually gotten worse than it was with Majestic, is some of the safety concerns that we've been informed about around in particular, that curtain being closed and the inconsistency with that, because there has been that information was provided to the license holder on a couple of different occasions before today, and it still seems to be something that hasn't been adhered to entirely. I was concerned when we approved the license back in February about the extended hours that were sought based on the experience that we had with Majestic. And I can't recall if Majestic had started off with a 2 a.m. close time and we shortened it, but when this license holder came to us for this license, I didn't want to repeat what happened at Majestic, and I was a little concerned with the extended hours that we would end up there. And even though the music isn't being played until the full extent of the license, I'm not sure that the license needs to be as broad as we currently have it. So, do you other issues that you can identify?
Not within our purview, no.
So current hours.
Sorry,
Amy.
Tasha, do you mind? I just have a question for Amy. What are you, I guess, what are you thinking is not in your purview?
Well, I maybe not in our purview, but a little bit tangential. I was just thinking of Maria's story about the people who were there and saying that they were going to come back and shoot the place up. Not that that's not tangentially within our purview, and we can limit hours to try and mitigate against that sort of behavior, but that feels to me like a bit of a separate thing from the sound and the venue safety.
Okay, because I mean it in Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 183A, it says that the license authority may not modify unless they find that the license has adversely affected the public health, safety, or order in the. So you do have the authority to address safety concerns. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Jennifer, what are your thoughts?
I'm struggling with the sound mitigation sort of limits that the landlord has given to the space. I feel, I don't know where Anya's responsibility and the landlord's responsibility stop and end. And then there's the third component. Right now there's someone new. So are we giving a deadline now for Ronan to come in to see like what can be fixed? I don't know if we can force a landlord to damage the ceiling if it's in the name of.
We can't force. I mean, that's between the leaseholder and the landlord. We can't force it. We can only control the license based on the physical space where the license is being used, the impact it's having, we've other establishments, we've had to go so far as to say, no amplified this or whatever. And so those are the things that we can deal with. And Anya said that Ronan is coming this month, within the next couple of weeks, I think. And then the plan is to have those materials installed in the band section this month, but there's the added layer now of needing to coordinate with the building department to make sure that the materials being used are fire safe. So there's a lot of moving targets. I mean, I think everybody wants the establishment to be able to continue to have music. It's what I'm seeing, my concern is that I'm not sure, and I mean no offense by this, but I don't see I'm not sure that the situation is being very well managed by the establishment. I think that there's a lot of music happening there, which on the one hand is great, but there's not a lot of control over what is happening when the bands are playing. And that's up to the license holder to do. And the only thing that we can control about that is if we want to, is to put limitations on the license in terms of how often it can be used.
Can I ask a technical question?
Yes.
If we were to modify the license today, what would the procedure be to modify it again? Would it be another public hearing? In other words, could we modify it today and then say we'd like to modify it for 6 months or 3 weeks or whatever, and come back and have a follow-up meeting?
Yes.
And then modify it again, or does that require?
It would require another public hearing.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And actually, Annie, if we were to modify the license today, say shorten the use of the license for a period of time while mitigation is put into place, in some way measure the outcomes of that, would the license holder then need to reapply to extend the hours? Or would it be another public hearing to go back and change the license again?
It would be another public hearing, because you'd be again modifying the license back to, because it sounds like it'd be like a trial period, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking, Amy? Like a trial period while things get,
or something to indicate that we're taking this seriously and the establishment needs to take it seriously. And so for a period of time, we're pulling things back while you work on sound mitigation. And then if you come back and there's an update that indicates that progress is made and we want to give it a go again, then great.
Yep. I think that's reasonable. What do you think, Jennifer?
Yep. I support shortening the license while mitigation.
And to be clear, when we say shortening the license, in my head, I'm talking about like an earlier close time.
Yep.
Is that okay?
An earlier, and so right now the license is 7 days a week. So Amy, your thought is shortening the entertainment license on each of those 7 days, or are you thinking limiting music to certain days of the week with certain hours?
I'd like to talk it through. In my head, I was thinking making the close time earlier, but when the establishment went through the close time on each day, there are really only 3 days that close particularly late, and only 2 of those days on which they are open, if I understand correctly. So
right, for the time being, once the weather. Right. So I think maybe we should we're talking about the license that we've already issued. So we should consider any changes to those hours and not take into account what the business is currently open. Just to
yes, to keep it clean, but also if the noise is a problem on days that the business is only open until 12 and we limit their hours from 3 a.m. to 1 a.m., I'm not sure that that's doing anything.
Yep, true. Good point. Good point. So I feel as if the work ahead is substantial enough that I would be inclined to discuss addressing the hours of the license and also limiting the days of the license, because and with the whole idea of hoping for success for the business owner to address these issues in a successful way so that we can bring back in more days on the license. I'm worried that it's kind of going to extend this process if we continue with a 7-day operation, even with the limited hours as they are in the winter right now. Is the outcome going to be is the outcome going to be achieved any faster? I'm not sure that it is.
Do you have a proposal you want to float out, or would you like one from the?
Oh, I'd like to just hear your thoughts
Talk it
on
through.
that. I mean, I'm
My initial, I mean, yes, I agree with you. And I would assume that the busier nights are the weekend and later in the week evenings. And so a balance seems to me to keep those nights. And if we were going to eliminate any nights, to do them at the earlier part of the week.
So like a keep Thursday through Sunday,
Yeah,
Monday through Wednesday.
something like that.
Jennifer, what are you thinking about this? Any aspect of it?
I'm just thinking through. So Amy's informal proposal was just allowing the establishment to be open Thursday through Sundays. You were thinking
Or
4 days?
something like that. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to balance all of the competing interests. And it seems to me that likely the biggest demand for live music and foot traffic would be Thursday through Sunday, and that there would be less of it Monday through Wednesday, I would guess. And so if I were to limit it, I would be looking at one or more of Monday through Wednesday would be my thought.
And what about shortening the hours? I mean, what do you see a Thursday through Sunday opening looking like?
Well, currently Thursday through Saturday is 3 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yep.
The license. Majestic was 1 a.m. Thursday through Saturday and a midnight close on Sundays.
I know that the public hearing is closed. I just want to flag that the establishment has their hand up if we decide we want to recognize them.
Yes, can you just give us one more second, Anya? I just want to get through Jennifer's thought process.
Well, I would propose an earlier closure on Thursday through Saturday. Until we have soundproofing mitigation. But even when we talk about mitigation, I mean, we need that exit sign up now. I think that is an immediate, it's like we mentioned that is the third time that we've discussed having that sign. I think the curtain is going to be open, the curtain is going to be closed. I accept that, so I want the sign above it now. I think that is a different category than waiting for Ronan and
Yep.
Some proposals there.
Kevin, would the building department need to be involved in any permitting to put a sign up, or that's?
Would need an electrical permit.
Okay.
Because it's new wiring, so.
Okay, so Jennifer, that'll be a process also, but I think a solution to that safety issue is to require the sign to go up, period. And that process would have to start.
I understand. Okay. Fair. I just wanted to state that.
Okay. All right, so I would like to recognize Anya before Annie, do I need to reopen the public hearing for clarification?
Hello. You're muted, Annie.
Hold on one second.
Unless there's new information or if you're just getting clarity on something.
Are you providing new information, Anya, or you just want to?
I just wanted to, because you were talking about shortening the hours, we do have one of our very popular nights is Tuesday Grateful Dead night. And we do, I understand that there is both sides of this, but as a business, we need to be making some amount of profit during the week, and Tuesday nights are a great day for us. If we don't have those days, we're a new business and we're still struggling, honestly, to get through each month. So taking away those hours would greatly, greatly affect us.
And what are your current Tuesday hours you're opening at 7 p.m.?
7, but we have music starting at 8:30 to 12.
And then you're closing at
Music stops at 12.
music stop. What time are you closing the bar?
We close the bar at 12:30, basically.
Okay.
Just give enough time for people to finish their drinks and go home.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, back to the commissioners. So I don't want to harm somebody's business. I completely respect what Anya has shared with that being one of their busiest nights of the week, but I think it's also the night of the week where we had the photos of the band set up across the floor and the equipment everywhere and everything else. What are your thoughts then on that, notwithstanding that issue of the band setup? What are your thoughts of changing what we've just discussed, of altering the license to reflect Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sunday?
I would want to see Tuesday kept in, whether it's swapped out for another. Yeah. I don't want to be asking somebody to be looking into sound mitigation and then expecting them to be spending money to do that, and at the same time taking away the night that
He's going to pay for it.
is going to pay for it. But I do think changing the hours might make sense.
Okay.
The hours from the original license.
All right. So then if Tuesday we're in, what do you think the other nights? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I would propose a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, midnight closure.
Okay, and Tuesday is currently, I have so many different times written down everywhere. Okay, Tuesday is currently midnight on the license. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is currently.
Wait, Tuesday is currently midnight on the entertainment license?
Yep, Sunday through Wednesday is 12 a.m.
Okay.
Yep. And that was the same for Majestic. What if we did Tuesday end time of 11? And Thursday, Friday, Saturday end time of midnight?
And this is just impacting, right, the entertainment license. So entertainment shuts off at 11. Bar could remain open until the end of their common vic license. Okay.
Absolutely.
Just making sure I'm clear.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Another question. On the days that they are open, but we are now not offering an entertainment license, if we were to go through with this, do they need an entertainment license to play like the radio or I assume no, this is just, you
No.
only need the entertainment license for DJ or live music.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Then I'm okay with that change. But could we talk about a time frame
Yep.
and or a revisit date?
Absolutely. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on those potential changes?
I would propose a 3-month time period.
But what in terms of the hours and the days?
I'm sorry, I thought we went through that. So
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure you're on board. I
that's
wasn't
okay.
sure if you
No,
were
no,
on board.
I was supporting Tuesday with our music until 11, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday until midnight. Would Sunday still be at midnight, Natasha?
I'm not sure if
Did we land on Sunday?
we didn't land on anything on Sunday. I mean,
Okay.
and again, this is in an effort to try and see some movement in getting things mitigated as best they can. I would be in favor of 4 nights of entertainment and 3 nights off. So that would be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for entertainment. But that's just my thought.
I'm also supportive of that. That's what I thought we were headed towards.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to pause us for a moment and make sure Anya doesn't have a question that needs answering before we continue to deliberate.
Yeah, I'm not sure, it's not quite a question, but this, changing our hours to be closed at 12 is also going to greatly affect our business as well.
We're not discussing closing you at 12. We're talking about your entertainment license, not your hours of operation.
I understand, but we are mainly a venue. People don't come for the bar aspect of it, they come for the entertainment. If we are not able to have entertainment past 12, it will greatly affect our business.
I understand what you're saying, and I sympathize with that. I absolutely do, as do the other commissioners. But we also have there's a problem that needs some fixing. And
I understand that, but I also if we don't have business, then I'm not going to be able to pay for the necessary changes that need to happen. All of the sound paneling is very expensive. It's not that I haven't looked into getting this, but I am one person trying to run a business in Northampton, and I am constantly met with a lot of these issues. And it's shortening my hours in this way we're not going to survive this. I'm being completely honest. We're barely surviving as we are. And
altering the time of 1 hour, because that's essentially what you're operating right now. One hour less of live music.
It will affect us. One of the things is that we're one of the only places that are open late. We're competing with the Iron Horse. Iron Horse has shorter hours during the day. We get the trickle from the Iron Horse to our venue afterwards. If we're competing with the Iron Horse, there's just there's nothing we can do.
We're going to resume our conversation. I understand what you're saying, but we're responsible for this license. And so when concerns come our way, we need to discuss them. And it sounds like the commission is inclined to alter the license in some way as a means to address this. So we're taking everything into consideration, which is how Tuesday got back on the table. So if we're going to resume this deliberation, and I'd like to just continue the commissioners' conversation and not recognize anybody else after this. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I mean, it sucks. This totally sucks. I don't like having to do this and have this conversation. And I understand that there are issues around having to make ends meet in order to move things forward, but there's also a problem that needs addressing, and we can't let it continue without, we're responsible for this license. This is what we're responsible for. So it's, we can't, I don't see how leaving things as they are addresses any of our responsibilities.
I'm still inclined to limit the license. The way I could imagine balancing it, I know Jennifer, you had suggested 3 months, and we didn't really talk about that yet, would be like a 1 month and come back in 30 days. And if in 30 days there's a plan, or there's more information, or there's been movement, or there's if there's like a sense of urgency and a sense of things being repaired. And I know that that's putting it on us maybe to keep meeting every 30 days about this, but I totally hear the concern about losing the revenue. And I know that businesses downtown are on non-existent margins.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think we can just do nothing. So I would be inclined to limit the hours, but limit the duration of that limiting to have another meeting and talk about it again and just get an update.
And with some specific guardrails for the update, a report from the visit with Ronan, would we want something in writing made available to us? I mean, I want this, I want whatever we're doing to be successful in helping the business move forward and continue to grow.
Likewise, I don't know that I want to necessarily pigeonhole the response, only in that if 30 days goes by and we don't have any update, then the hours will just remain shortened. And I don't want to say something like a written proposal for sound mitigation in 30 days. And if Ronan can't turn that around, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, I'd like to give something concrete, I guess, so that the establishment feels like they're not totally clueless as to what we'd like to see.
Right.
Feel that, Amy. I just think that looking back at other sound complaints that we've had, I don't think we've had any meaningful updates within 30 days. I mean, maybe this one will be different, but.
And that may be the case. I guess I'd just like to give the establishment the opportunity to like kick it into high gear for 30 days to show meaningful
to meet this deadline.
Improvement.
I
and
understand.
Like I want to give them back the hours, and I want the sound to be mitigated so they can be open late and the people can sleep in their bed. And I don't want to artificially hold that up for 3 months because we don't think it can happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I'd like to give the establishment the opportunity to try.
I support that.
Yeah, I can support that too, of course.
Okay. So let's just run through what we're talking about then. So Monday through Sunday, we're saying that for the next 30 days, the license would be modified to reflect entertainment on Tuesdays from 3 to 11, Thursdays from 3 to midnight, Fridays from 3 to midnight, and Saturdays from 3 to midnight.
Yes.
Natasha, can you say that one more time?
Yes, so we're talking about the change would reflect Tuesdays 3 to 11, Thursdays 3 to midnight, Fridays 3 to midnight, and Saturdays 3 to midnight. And this is only for the entertainment. This does not affect their common victular or their operating hours in any other regard.
And so all the other Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday, there's to be no entertainment?
Yes, so we'd be limiting the entertainment license from the current 7 days to 4 days for the next 30 days.
And do we have a statement of reasons?
Yes, due to the concerns around fire safety and the noise complaints from residents. And a motion would include the piece about the fire exit sign. As well as an update in that 30-day time.
So, excuse me. So you'd want, so an update in 30 days would be in between our January and February meeting? Are you hoping just an update to me or
I want to support the business as best we can, and I would be willing to have a special meeting to hear the update and have a discussion.
I would as well.
Okay.
so a special meeting in 30 days?
Yep. That'd be February 4th. Right. Are the commissioners are we all on the same page?
I am.
Yes.
Okay. Would somebody like to take a stab at a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to modify the entertainment license for held by Pedigo Wood LLC DBA Hayes for a period of 30 days beginning today to reflect the following hours of entertainment. Tuesday from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., Thursday from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m., Friday from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m., and Saturday from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. And to require the installation of an exit sign above the fire curtain.
Is that to be within the 30 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Or we could get an update about it at the 30-day window if it's tied up for some reason.
So, okay.
Is that okay, Annie? I'll second it.
Do you want to read it back, Annie?
I mean, I have it. I'm just trying to understand.
I don't want to make the modification contingent on the exit sign if that's where you're headed. Just knowing that that's going to have to be a permit and electrical work and whatever. I just don't think that's.
No, it's more just what happens after the 30 days. Does it just automatically revert back to the old hours or nothing happens, we meet and then
Should we have a public hearing in 30 days?
it's gonna have, if you're gonna potentially modify it again, it would have to be a public hearing.
Yep.
Then yes, that. Do you need the motion to specify what will happen at the end of the 30 days?
Well, there's a motion on the floor and there's a second. So,
Okay.
I think maybe you could offer an amendment to include, you want to modify the license for a period of 30 days, at which time there will be another hearing to discuss the hours moving forward or something to that effect.
That was perfect.
Okay.
Could I offer that as a friendly amendment?
Do I second the amendment, Annie?
Yes.
Yeah, I second.
Okay, just give me 1 second while I get that down. Okay. Let's see, Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So then you'll put this in writing to the license holder. Okay,
Yep.
great. All right. Thanks, guys. And thank you also for your willingness to have a not in the middle meeting again in 30 days. Next agenda item is new business. Annie, do you have anything?
I do have something that came up yesterday. We have one annual wine and malt license available, and 2 people just applied for it. So, I talked to Attorney Seawald, and he said that the commission should decide on which applicant to grant it to based on the public good. My only hesitation with that is that they would have to pay about $250 for a legal notice. They'd have to pay to send out a butters notices. They'd have to pay $200 to the ABCC. So they'd be paying like $600 to apply for the license, and one of them might not get it. Someone already paid all that though, because that application came in 2 days prior to the one that I got yesterday. So I guess I don't really know what to do and how the commission wants to handle issuing that last wine and malt license. I would sorry, I just want to give you some more context. They both reached out in advance asking if there was one available. I told both of them that there was one available, and that someone else had inquired about it. So both parties were aware that there's like someone else that's interested in it.
I mean, I think the only thing we can do to be completely fair is to go with the person who submitted first.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Because otherwise we're picking which one gets to do it. And that's when we have the benefit of somebody having done it first and they were both aware.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
I
didn't realize we only had one of those left. That's too bad.
I mean, it's not completely out of the question that they could get a license. They could apply for a seasonal and then convert it to an annual. And there's also a few all alcohols out there that are available on the open market. So I'll let them know both of those scenarios.
Great.
Okay, that's it. That's all I had.
I had one quick new piece of business. We all currently use our personal emails, and I would like to make a suggestion that we use city emails moving forward.
So you're not an employee of the city,
so when the last public records request that was made, and I had a conversation with Attorney Sewell, this was several months back, and he said, "Oh, you're not using a Northampton.gov email." And I said, "No, is that an option?" He said, "Absolutely." And then when I watched the city council organizational meeting on Monday this week, and granted they're different, city council's a different animal than us as volunteers, but he reiterated that they should all be using the Northampton.gov, and he laid out the reasons for it. One of the primary reasons is if there's a public records request, the city IT has very easy access to the information as opposed to having to comb through our personal emails and all of this stuff. It seemed an easier way moving forward. Should there be more public records requests, that that information be efficiently available to the city pulling it. But that's just
I'm happy to ask. I mean, city council, they're employees, they get health insurance, they get benefits. So I'm happy to ask. How we've gotten around this before is that, and this doesn't help with the IT being able to comb the emails, but like members of the Reparations Commission and the Policing Review Commission, they made separate emails that were
okay.
It would be like Yakovlev License Commission at gmail.com. So anything could be sent
Okay.
there that was all like license commission business.
Okay.
But I'm more than happy to ask and just double check.
Yeah, double check if you don't mind. And
Yeah,
then,
because I do
yeah.
feel that in our mandatory or required trainings, it will refer to us as non-compensated city employees, that all of the rules that apply, that about not accepting gifts, just all of the rules, Annie.
You're a special municipal employee or special municipal, I forget. I will double check.
Okay. That was my new business. Annie or Amy or Jennifer, anything?
Nothing on my end.
No new
right.
business.
Then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Before you adjourn, do you want to
Yes.
recognize that?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Anya.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So does this go into effect for this week as well?
That's an excellent question. Yes, the license has been modified based on our vote, so it goes into effect.
Okay. And does karaoke count in this as well? Because we normally do karaoke on Wednesdays and it's Wednesday, so.
A great question. I don't know the answer.
Yeah, so your original license was for live bands, themed nights, including karaoke and paint and sip. So because it is in your license, it would be included in that, but I recognize it would be unreasonable to ask for a same day response to this. Right, Annie? So is it okay if she goes ahead and has her karaoke tonight?
That's up to the commission.
I mean, I am
It
fine
is
with,
fine with me.
yeah, I don't think it's reasonable for us to ask you to change something in a matter of hours
Yep,
for today.
I agree.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Yes. Anything else, anybody?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody.
Bye.